Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see here, we're at the end of the 2020-21 season in our Sporting Club Portugal Kit Quest career mode in FIFA 21. So yeah, we're going to recap this initial season. I see how we did in the league and the cup, kind of any transfer business, board objectives, player stats, and all that good stuff. So you just kind of see here on the standings part, we did as Sporting did that season and won the title. But we had to do with more points. We had to do with 89 because Porto put up a pretty strong fight throughout the entire season with a point total of 85, which is what Sporting actually finished with that year. So if we hadn't done better in a couple of games where we drew and then like quick sim, like drew and then like simmed and like we won instead, we would have probably ended up missing out on the title. But we did it with the one loss just as they did. So pretty solid season. 65 goals for, 11 goals against. So Sport had a really strong offense and defense. I guess we did too, but like our offense clearly wasn't as strong, but we did enough to get the title with them. We did draw in two matches against Porto, which they had drawn that season. We drew both of them. We drew the away one 1-1 and the home one 0-0 or 0-0. So yeah, so a couple other clubs did us some favors and beat Porto in a couple of matches that really helped us out. But I'll take it in terms of, I guess that means Porto got looks like a Champions League spot, and then Benfica, Braga, and Rio Ave got, I'm guessing, Europa League spots based on the differences in color on the side there. Then at the bottom, go down here. So for my little research here, I guess because like the second division of Portugal isn't in the game, considering how kind of bare bones the top division of Portugal is, I suppose. Not a surprise. So the bottom two clubs get automatically relegated. So Portimonense and CD Tondela would automatically get relegated, and then Santa Clara would have been in the relegation playoff against. Or would it? See, I don't understand like what the tiebreakers are, because you can see here, you would think Firenze would be, unless like the tiebreaker is different in Portugal. You would think that Firenze would be 16th because they have a worse goal differential, but what do I know? FIFA 21 kind of weird, probably because it was made during COVID and stuff, but yeah. So bottom two auto get relegated, third from the bottom go into the relegation playoff, but obviously no second division, so it doesn't matter. In terms of the next competition, was the not the Taca Portuguesa, which I guess to me that's what it actually is in Portuguese, but on Wikipedia they call it the Taca de Portugal, which is the big cup competition. As you see here, we made it to the final and won. So this is a one and done Kit Quest career mode because obviously Sporting had won the title that year and they won like the smaller cup, but the smaller cup isn't in the game, and they got knocked out in the round of 16 of the bigger cup, I think, to like some random team. Like let's see, let me look at the Wikipedia page who they get knocked out by in the cup. Oh, I got some random team by Maritimo who finished what in the league? They finished 12th in the league, so they got at least in the game. I don't know if they finished that season actually, but they I guess we got knocked out. So in terms of there you go. So round one is which is the technically the round of 16. I quick sim because that's where they got knocked out. And I see we got a matchup against Santa Clara. We drew them 2-2 with goals from João Mario and Paulinho, and then scraped by on penalties 4-3. So really scraped it there. From like we were basically one pen away from it being. We're having to do a second season here, but we managed to scrape by on pens. Quarterfinal, we got a matchup against Benfica. So then I did the last five matchups thing, whipped it in the randomizer. We got sim to simulate the game. So I was like, ah, crap, that's not good. But quick sim the game, and we won 3-1, thankfully, away from home. And the big derby with two goals from Mateus Nunes and one goal from Paulinho to win the match. So pretty solid stuff there. So then semifinals, which is a two-legged tie, two-leg thing. You can see here we got a matchup against SC Braga, who I think that's who we beat in the other cup. They beaten in the yeah, that's who they beat in the other cup that year. But we got a matchup against them in the semifinals. So leg one, again chucked in the randomizer, got sim. So to quick sim, we won 4-1 the first leg with goals from Gonçalves, two from Paulinho, and one from João Palhinha, throwing his scoring touch here. So that was pretty solid stuff. Going in the second leg with a three-goal lead on aggregate. Then the second leg we went in, got play, and drew 2-2. So it wasn't my strongest game, but we drew 2-2. with goals from João Mario and Gonçalves, with Pedro Porro assisting João Mario's goal. And the second one from Gonçalves, I think, was like a last-second like equalizer too, which is pretty cool. But didn't really matter because we would have won through anyways. But better to draw the match than lose. So pretty solid stuff there. We got in the final, we got matched up against FC Familiaco. Boop. Again, chucked that in the randomizer, and I got a draw, so I put it on slow sim, and this was 0-0. It was 0-0, and then I think it was like in the 80-something minute, Paulinho put away a goal from close range. I celebrated, we went 1-0 up, and we were able to hang on at the end and win. So we did the double, and won the cup. With Mateus Nunes, man of the match. I'm guessing he either had the assist or he was just like balling out that game on the defensive side. But pretty excellent stuff there. So we did the double, made this one and done quest career mode after the like failure that was the Panthers jersey quest. Pretty solid that kind of rebounded here with a quick W, which is kind of was hoping for, but you never know considering we were so like very close to losing. We had to sim most of these matches, so pretty solid stuff. But we did win the cup. Oh, oops. I guess we can look at some of the other competitions. So let's do that. It's the preseason thing. That doesn't really matter. Super Cup, Bayern beat Sevilla 2-1. Champions League, Liverpool beat Real Madrid on pens. And then Europa League, which you could tell is an unrealistic game. Arsenal beat Everton 2-1. So yeah, that's all those competitions I think, because there's no Conference League yet, obviously. So yeah, we're back at the beginning. But solid season there. In terms of transfers, go into transfer history here. It's going to be pretty disappointing, I would say. If we sort by date the other way, boom. Yeah, so sold Antunes here to Aston Villa for 4.9 mil. Sent out like a bunch of guys on loan. Some of them were without like options to buy, but I don't know. Who knows if any of them got taken up because we kind of didn't make it to the end of the season where it switches over to kind of youth prospect guys that were complaining. And then sold the Don to Hertha Berlin for 8.5. So yeah, because the squad was like so ginormous and our budget was kind of small and stuff, like couldn't really bring anyone in, but we guess didn't need to. We had a solid enough squad all around to do the double. So yeah, now transfer business in terms of I guess top scorers and stuff in the league, we can get into that. I guess when we do the other thing, because even here, like our budget was like 20-something mil, and I really like sold a couple of guys, so really didn't have a big transfer budget. So like even with that, I don't think it would have been enough to buy Pedro Porro at the beginning of the season either. So yeah, our budget's pretty small. So kind of looking at board objectives, pretty happy with this. Youth development, this one, as I said, we didn't make any signings, but the top signed 3 under 20 players. I guess there was 3 different like youth academy guys who are like, you get the email and it's like, youth player is upset and threatening to leave. So I like just sign them, and then like send them out on loan in the hopes that maybe like in a future year, like sell youth players or whatever for X amount of money and stuff. I do that then. Rain exposure was we had 15 games, at least 1 goal scored in home matches, which is not even. Yeah, okay, no, that makes. Yeah, okay, no, that does make sense. Okay, so it's like there's only like 34, yeah, but half of 34 is 17, so we'd have had 17 matches in the league. So must have scored in pretty much most of the home matches in the league, and I'm guessing some in the cup because I'm pretty sure we drew 0-0 at home against Porto. Yeah, so. Yeah, I guess the only goal at the games we didn't score in at all were a 0-0 draw away at Familiaco, and a 0-0 draw at home to Porto. Yeah, and that's it. So okay, so we scored pretty much every other match, so we were pretty solid on that one. Then the bottom one, obviously, I said we didn't make any signings, so not gonna be able to replace any players from the team. Like I guess you could kind of say we did that from within, so like obviously got rid of Adon and stuff, and like set players on loan and all that good stuff. But doesn't count for the game. Financials keep salary growth on 25%. Obviously, we kind of did that, but it's not going to like check, I think, until the end of the season or whatever. So that's whatever. And then second one, obviously, because we didn't make any signings, that one's not going to happen either. But I don't even know how much profit we made, to be honest. We could check, I guess, here. We made looks like 100 million profit. So okay. So I guess we would have gotten that part of it. But obviously, we didn't sign any players, so it's too bad. Mexican success, they wanted us to do the double. We did the double. Boom. So that was pretty fun. And then continental success, obviously nothing because we weren't in the Europa League, even though we were technically in the Europa League, but we were like in the pre group stage stuff, and I guess they didn't have that in the game, which is disappointing. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's the objectives. So kind of last kind of thing is kind of looking at the squad and stats and all that kind of stuff. So pull up the squad hub, go to stats here. Yes, Maximiliano was our starter because he had like pretty high potential. That's why I was willing to get rid of Adon. But he had a really solid season. We go to the standings page of my spreadsheet here, so I could slide over to top 10 stuff. Yes, he finished tied for first. I guess I just covered they randomly do the order when it's tied on like the player stat screen. But you probably technically would. I don't know how it works if there's a tie. Or maybe they would have shared it or whatever. But he was tied with Porto's goalkeeper for most in the league with 22 clean sheets. So solid stuff there. Ribeiro was decent as a backup in limited action because we only really had the lead in the cup, so we didn't like have to rotate that much. We kind of push our starters because there's like pretty much one match a week, like every week for the season. Nuno Mendes, solid season, big growth. Reyes on loan. Center backs kind of doing their thing. Pereira, who's retiring, he's overall dropped by like 6 points. It was kind of useful at the beginning of the season, then kind of wasn't so useful at the end because his overall was so low, but goal and assist. And here's the boy, here's the mammoth, the legend, Pedro Porro. Who has the captain's armband here because obviously from the title celebration and the kind of cup, which you'll see the footage at the end. So in the league, pretty solid stuff. 7 goals and 3 assists. So 10 goal contributions and 2 assists in the cup as well. So good stuff from Pedro Porro, helping us out here. Big growth. So what's his value now? It's looking at his financial. His financial is 54.5 milli. Jesus, yes. There's no way in heck you would have been able to sign him. Well, I guess it's a good thing we kind of finished at 1. He was a 2-year loan anyway, so it didn't really matter that much. But solid stuff from Pedro Porro. Here's Rodrigo Fernandez. I said João Paulinho kind of balled out. 2 goals, 8 assists in the league, 1 goal in the cup. And his 8 assists was tied for second with, you'll see in a second, and then a player from Porto and a player from Benfica with 8 assists. But he did it in the second least amount of games. It's cool stuff from João Paulinho there. Tejas Nunes, probably a pretty solid season from him. There you go, João Mario, who's on loan from Inter. He had 5 goals, 8 assists in the league, 2 goals and assists in the cup. And he was the other one. He had 8 assists in the league. He was kind of tied for second, but he did it in the least amount of games of anyone. So pretty solid stuff from João Mario. He probably would have played more games. But he had like a sprained ankle, I think it was. That's what the other guy, the right back. What's his face? Joao Pereira, like he had a sprained knee at one point, so he missed like a month, and then João Mario missed a month at the end with a sprained ankle. But yeah, so he did solid for us. Had to go back and loan Inter because again, I think he's on like in here. It's like the wage coverage is we're only paying 18K of his wages. But I'm pretty sure like his wages at Inter were like 100K. So there's no way in heck we were gonna be able to kind of bring that into balance. Here we go. Pedro Gonçalves. I played him as an attacking mid because again we didn't really have any like natural attacking mid, so we had to use what we had. In the league, he had 9 goals, 7 assists, which 7 assists were just tied for third technically, but like listed as number 9 in the league. But in 28 games, so pretty solid stuff from him. He was pretty clutch at points, scoring some nice goals. Tabata again, he wasn't naturally a cam, but he played like on the right side of like to the right side of cams, and he did pretty decent in limited action. Sporar, he was on loan for us at Braga. He was finished 4th in the goal scoring charts, 17. It's pretty good. And there we go. Paulinho, he was balling out for us. 21 goals, 7 assists in the league. So 7 assists, again tied for third. But he did in the least. No, he didn't actually do in the least amount of games. Someone from our team did in 18 games. So yeah, but he was pretty solid for us to assist. But goal scoring was his main threat because obviously he was our number 9. 21 goals in the league, was second behind the guy from Porto at 24. So a really solid season from him, finishing off crosses and cutbacks and all sorts of stuff. Then backup striker was Thiago Tomas, youngster. He had 10 goals in the league, pretty solid output in only 11 matches played total, but 9 of those were in the league, so more than a goal a game. And 2 assists, pretty solid stuff from him. So he's like in terms of average like match rating, he was our best player in the season. But obviously played a lot less minutes than everyone else because like Paulinho was 7.7, but played like triple the matches. But yeah, actually, let's go back in here. So I wrap up. Let's look at Pedro Porro. You know, it doesn't actually look like Pedro Porro. There we go. Yeah, so wrapping this one up. So this is a nice kit, nice green and yellow kit. But it's like another successful Kit Quest career mode, which, boom, let's get it. This last review might be a season we kind of potentially revisit in the future once I finish, you know, like kind of getting through the cup winning, Europa League winning roster. Obviously, because João Palhinha here, who I've come to really like in his time at Spurs. He might be like, might do like one of like the away, I guess the away kicks. The third kit isn't in the game, so I might like come back in future and do another season. I might even use his save, or I might do a different save. We'll see. Like with João Palhinha in the away, but this is a solid Kit Quest career mode. Next on my channel, I think it's probably gonna be a nice, pretty like string of Jersey Quest and Kit Quest for a little bit. Just how the system I'm using has worked out. But yeah, so thank you for checking this series out, and I guess hopefully check out next series in the channel, which should be a Jersey Quest, not an NHL 2004. That honestly it might end up being if I ever think about it and stuff, but I'm guessing it probably won't be. But I'll have to kind of check that out and find out. So yeah, thank you.
Really waiting for this moment when they can celebrate their considerable accomplishments this season. The trophy to be awarded any minute now.
Well, there's no better place to receive the accolades coming to you than in front of your own fans, giving something back, sharing the glory together. Absolutely fantastic.
Memories for players in these situations, Lee.
Well, it's always nice to win any trophy, cup competitions, but when you win your own domestic league, that to me is the pinnacle of being a player.
Yeah, the table does not lie. And so, the league champions.
Yeah, brilliant. They deserve it. They really have been the best team this season. And that's where you end up, top of the pile.
And not by accident either. All part of the master plan. And the trophy is theirs.
Well, this is the best moment for me, sharing things with the fans. They've deserved everything they've got this season. The players have, but certainly the supporters. They've given the players absolutely 100% support all season, and this is their reward.
Really a match made in heaven between players and fans, and these celebrations are going to continue for quite some time.
Well, to win any league, Derek, you have to have consistency, you have to be dynamic, demanding of your teammates. They've been all that and more. Congratulations.
Would certainly echo those sentiments, Lee. You are looking at the league champions. Racing and the other distraught. And Lee, memories are being made.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank. Players will always look back at moments like these. These moments where you pick trophies up and win medals. Absolutely brilliant for this group of players.
Yeah, you can see what it means to this tight-knit team. Real solidarity.
Well, it's these moments, Derek, when you get your hands on the silverware and that little medal that goes round your neck. Might seem small now, but you'll look back at that, show your grandkids. Absolutely superb memories these players will have of this game.
It's a special moment in the career of any footballer. And now for the trophy lift itself. The cup winners.
Yeah, it's been a long, old road to get to this point. They're going to celebrate now and certainly celebrate long into the night, I think.
There's always the element of chance in a cup competition. But my goodness, they've taken the rough with the smooth. And now They savour the moment. And this is really special. Getting to celebrate in front of your own fans, Lee.
Well, it's giving something back. These fans have travelled all over the place following their team. Now they get to join in the celebrations, go into the crowd and give them the cup. That's what I say.
Well, then it might never find its way to the trophy cabinet, Lee.
Well, all that hard work along the way in this tournament all comes together at the end when you pick the trophy up. Just look at them celebrating. A brilliant moment.
Hard work indeed, Lee. The trophy now in their possession.